Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. My weekend was great, but yet a little lonely. It's getting harder, Kim. Is it getting harder for you?
It is. It's definitely getting harder. I noticed I'm a little bit more short with some of my responses. and I noticed that I'm like my grandson FaceTimed me and I started like the tears. Like I was just so, yeah, kind of getting that messy, icky middle part that we just got to see that finish line.
Yeah, I was telling Kim before we were live, everybody, that I do a lot of walking outside like everyone else does when the weather is nice. And I don't always wear a mask when I'm out in the like wide open spaces. And like people approach me like I'm a leper. Like nobody looks each other in the eye anymore. And as a body language trainer, that is so disturbing to me. Like I just still want to look people in the eye and say hello and good morning and have a great day. And everyone just like looks away, walks far apart from each other. Like I feel like just nobody's nice anymore.
It's hard. I know someone approached us. We were in the garden section picking up some seeds, and someone came up to us and he had a mask on and he started talking. And we're like, what do we do? And it was innocent. He goes, I've never gardened before. Which seeds should I pick?
So cute.
I know, but we were like, he's masked and he was scared to approach us. It's like, that's the part that I do not like at all.
No, this is definitely tough. But anyway, today we wanted to talk about, and I thought I put it up on my notes here, but apparently maybe I have to get rid of this and go back because I added our topic today, 3 tips to grow your following on Facebook and Instagram. So here's the thing. Right now, there's 2 camps. There are people who are like doubling down on their marketing, which as a business coach, I highly recommend. And then there's the people who are completely retreating. Like, I'm so sick of seeing everybody's crap out on Facebook and Instagram that I'm just disappearing. Are you finding the same thing?
I am. Yes, totally. And I would say right now I'm seeing about 20-25% that are doubling down, and the other people are radio silent right now. They're just not even people that normally were high users personally. Even it's just like they're on overwhelm and they just
Hi, Crystal. And I think it's really, really, really important to be in that 25%, and let's turn that 25% into 50% and keep growing, because even though you're overwhelmed by social media, you own a business. And if you're not going to take the bull by the horns and actually market yourself in order to keep your business afloat and come out of the gate on top when this whole thing lifts, you're making a huge mistake.
And we're already seeing it here. Like South Dakota's like in the forerunner. We've already lifted a lot of our restrictions. And so that's why it's even more important now than ever to grow your audience, to be up there, to double down, because we're headed out of the gate right now. And there's a lot of people that are going to be left in the tail end because they're not right where they need to be.
Yes. So, all right. So let's talk about, there were so many tips we have, but we try to keep these very concise. So we could do this literally the same topic, probably week after week after week, but let's do 3 tips today. Okay. So what was our first one?
Grow your friends list.
Okay, everyone. So your Facebook profile, your personal page I have highly recommended that on a daily basis to my clients, to grow your friends list on your personal Facebook profile. And when everyone's like, well, but that's my friends, that's my family, I'm like, that is the most powerful free tool you have right now to getting more business, to getting people to know who you are and what you do on a regular basis. And I don't know why so many people are hung up with not using it.
Right. I know some people that I've heard is that they don't want necessarily to like share their business stuff and on their Facebook page or whatever. They're confused with family and friends. An easy fix is make a list. Is all your new friends, put them in a list. And then when you post something, they'll see it. So, but yeah, it's a great way and it's a great way to meet new people also, especially now with the social distancing. So
it is a great way, right? And you don't have to be in their face. I'm not saying, if everyone looks at my personal profile, it's like I have personal stuff on there. I have just funny things, like in this environment, I have funny things. I'm sharing, history. And then every once in a while, I'll share something from my business page in order to show what I do. Besides, I optimized my personal Facebook page, which I show everyone how to do in my membership site, where it says what you do, and you utilize all that valuable real estate that can be seen by so many.
Real estate to use. And I will say that last week I went on 3 to 5 different people's Facebook pages and I couldn't find their business. And they are business owners. Yes. And so, and they had a link, but it went to one of the Facebook dead pages, not to the real pages. So definitely, get some make friends, add people to be your friends, and then showcase what you do. And then if you are afraid to that privacy thing about showing too many people, have your list available, and then just share those posts on certain lists if that's what you're stopping you from growing that friend list.
Right. Designate your close family and friends into close family and friends. Yes. And then if you're showing pictures of young kids and things like that, only show them to your close family and friends. And then everything else, open up to the freaking public and start friending people in your neighborhood, friends of friends, because people need to know what you do if you want to attract more business.
Then they'll want to work with you too, because they'll know your personality. Like you would not believe how many people I have on my list of businesses I want to work with locally, because I've seen them show up on their personal page and I've been checking them out through all this, and I love their character and I love what they're doing. And so they are at the top of my business list.
Absolutely. I could go off on a tangent on this because I found a company that I think could be really useful for interior designers. I literally went to their website and I don't know who's behind this company. And I thought, well, I can't refer someone to just a company. Who's the person behind it? Like, I want to know. So anyway, that's a whole nother tangent. So, okay. Tip number 2.
Tip number 2 is using Instagram stories and Facebook stories. Especially because they're different audiences, is what they're really finding out, is that you're opening up to a whole different audience. And then again, it's that glimpsing into, like yesterday I saw your story and knew that you were out for a walk and had a pretty picture. And it's like, oh, it just made me relate to you better. Quicker.
Yeah. And I think that's helping my Instagram and my Facebook following grow tremendously, is the fact that even though you are my social media manager, you handle my Facebook business page, my Instagram, you handle so much. I can't even keep track of what you're handling at this point, but I still make sure I'm involved in it by showing what I'm doing on a weekend, or what I do at night, or what I like, what I'm ordering, because Amazon is like my best friend now, right? So it's helping grow my following, because like you said, this is a way of showing my personality. And for people who are not taking advantage of stories, it's a real miss.
Right. It is. It is. Especially like, let's say yesterday, Saturday what do you play in the morning? That ball? Pickleball. So automatically, if someone's a pickleball player, they're going to be attracted to you. And so they're going to want to like, oh, what else she did? She likes pickleball. Maybe she likes something else. And then you develop that
relationship
that, and then when they're like, oh, someone needs a coach. Well, I already know this girl that I follow that plays pickleball.
Right. Exactly.
And that's how it works.
You know what? It's old school versus new school, right? Old school is like, oh, all I have to do is say how fabulous my company is, and people will be attracted to me. But in this day and age, they want to know who they're working with. They want to have that feeling of that personal connection. So that was tip number 2, use stories. So Adam is asking, why are stories so important? I think we just kind of went over it, Adam. It's the area of Instagram and Facebook where you can show even more of your personality, what you do outside of your business posts, right? And so many people are scrolling through stories now, more than they're even scrolling through the feed. I know I look at stories first now, and I rarely go to the regular feed anymore.
Right. Yeah. And I think, and it's a different audience sometimes. Sometimes you'll get the same. And then 2, when you do the hashtag, the tagging of this in the stories and location stuff, I can't believe, like locally, that's where I get more of the engagement from. Like if I tagged a restaurant that I'm at or something, or I use our local hashtags, amazing reach. Just it's always.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, especially for interior designers who are watching, you should be using stories and tagging local. When you walk around town, when you go to a restaurant, which we can't go to as much anymore, when you do takeout,
Right.
to support local, right? You could be tagging all those places and people are going to start finding you, and that's how you grow your following. So my following has definitely grown since we've started using stories more.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh, there's more. I have to scroll through the comments. I haven't even seen. Okay, let's go to tip number 3, and then we'll take Heather's question.
Okay. Socialize. It's a social platform. But this is one of the biggest mistakes and the hardest, most challenging buy-in that I get from a lot of people is socialize. So a good tip to follow is if you post something on the normal Facebook and Instagram, not necessarily even the stories, is stick around for 15, 20 minutes and see if you get comments. Because ideally, if you're posting stuff that's engaging with your fan base, you'll get some comments, and then respond to those comments and make sure you use more than just a heart or a high five, that you actually have more than 4 words. 4 words is kind of a magical thing to help read in that algorithm.
Right. And when you socialize, I'm trying to get to my page here. When you socialize, Facebook and Instagram bring you up higher with their algorithm, that people are interested in what you're saying. So they're going to show you to more people. And from what I understand, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Kim, they don't know whether they're just counting comments. So somebody makes a comment, you respond. They count that as 2 comments. They don't realize that it's you.
Right. Yes. Yep. And then thinking of it as a conversation. So the other day we mentioned your book and that you've been reading, and the 7 Habits. And then people commented and you do such a great job about bringing out more of that conversation and keeping that conversation going, because that's what it's about. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to leave people hanging, and I'm glad I have you, because you'll message me once in a while and say, did you notice there was a comment here that you may want to respond to personally? Because sometimes you'll cover a comment or 2 back if I'm not available. So it's nice to have a social media manager or a person who's posting for you on Instagram or Facebook, but you're still the business owner and people still want to know you. So stick around, like Kim said, for 10 or 15 minutes so you can respond to people who are making comments, but also check back later, right? I'm not saying obsess over it, but pick 2 time slots during the day and make sure you go on and you check and you respond. So let me see what Heather is saying here. How do you add the music, memes, and such to stories like Natalie Riddell does? I don't know what she does because I don't follow her, but
I don't know either. I know that when I was messing around with stories on Facebook yesterday, I believe, it did allow me the option to add some music, but I'll do some research and see if I can figure out what she's doing.
Okay. Perfect. What do you mean I don't like your posts, Heather? Of course you do. Never see you like my posts. Really? All right, now I got to go look. You just called me out. I scroll down once in a while, but I don't scroll that far. I go stories if you're not right at the top of my feed. I think everyone needs to double check which hashtags they use. Sometimes they are local, but are all about local outdoors. Sometimes they're local, but all about local outdoors, like a waterfall. I don't know what that means, Heather, but yes, everyone should check their local. And I always say, like I'm on Long Island. If I was an interior designer, and I remember, and I've said this before, when I taught a class on Instagram basics years ago, live in person, there was about 15 interior designers in the room. And I said, right now, if I go on Instagram and I put Long Island interior design or interior design Long Island, not one of you will show up. Not only did not one of them show up, Nobody showed up in all of Long Island. Nobody back then. It was like 3 years ago, I guess 3.5 years ago when I first started coaching. Now one person used it. Now I think a lot of people use it, but you can use all kinds of derivatives of that, right? Decorating Long Island decorator, right? Just there should be at least 10 local hashtags, I feel like, when you're a local business.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And like us, I think we have love Sioux Falls, and we have to be careful when we use the SF because people think we're San Francisco and we're not. So, but yeah, we do have the local hashtags. Right now it's, we're running a competition. We're doing 100 miles and 100 days walking. And that's the one that we're using all over is hashtag 100 miles, 100 days, because our goal is to walk 100 miles in the next 100 days as a community. And you cannot believe how much that's bounding us together. So you could even set a trend and who knows what people will follow you.
Create your own hashtag. Okay, one last question and then we're gone until next Monday. Designers like Tom Felicia are doing long form interviews on Instagram. Kim, Nancy, worth doing? I'm going to weigh in on that one first and you can tell me if I'm wrong. Absolutely yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I grew my entire coaching business and I'm going to start teaching other people. Well, I already teach my clients, but joint webinars, joint interviews like this, right? So what happens? Kim and I do this together. We then share this on everywhere we can share it, right? Kim shares it. It gives her exposure. It gives me exposure. We put it on LinkedIn. It goes everywhere, guys. This goes everywhere when we're done. This is a long form interview. I mean, we're not doing an hour, but the joint webinars that I am going to go back to doing is how I grew my entire list. Right. So this is whenever you're talking to someone else, like my weekend wind down, right? This is how I grew my entire business by doing interviews and conversations with other people. So that's a very strong, absolutely, you should be doing that.
Yes. And Adam, one real quick thing is that test to see how the length works for you. Like sometimes some of them may work for an hour. They may have a longer, a bigger audience that pertains. And some might be like we didn't do well today, but we try to keep these at 10 minutes. And so finding out where the audience, and so you might have to test it, but yeah, definitely 100% agree that interviews and this type of style is a great way to work.
Okay, very good. All right, everybody. So if you are just coming on now, go back and watch from the beginning. A lot of what we talk about here is in my membership site and things that I'm adding to my membership site on a regular basis. So if you are not a member of my membership site and you want to go in there, this is the URL, nancyganzikoffer.com/membership. It is $97 a month. It's got a ton of training in there, over 100 PDFs and trainings, and we're growing it every day. So I've been getting suggestions from people on what they want and what they need, and we are currently putting it together. We're also moving platforms at some time over the next month or two, which is going to make it a lot more beautiful, a lot easier to navigate, and I'll be adding a ton more video trainings in there. So if you're not there yet and you want to keep enhancing your knowledge on how to grow your business, hop on in there because that's going to be the place to be. Oh, and I'm adding, Kim, I don't know if I told you this, once a month, I'm going to go live with questions for only the people who are in my membership site.
Awesome.
So that's an added value.
And you didn't know I was going to say this, but I have been in lots of different membership sites. And the one thing I do appreciate yours is that it's complete. It has some social media, some business, there's so many different variations of it, but you've got a whole complete package so that you could run your business and you don't have to spend all this extra money to learn how to do Instagram. Everything is in your membership site. That's what I can really appreciate from your site.
Yes, thank you for saying that. That's exactly what I've been trying to do. Like your ladder of services, how to sell, how to market. And as new things come out, we add new trainings. And as topics come up that people are struggling with, we add another training. So I think the next one I have coming is how to get published, right? We're trying to do a little bit more on the high end Amy Fleury, who wrote the book Recipe for Press, and Recipe for Press for Interior Designers, is going to be doing a training for my membership site. So I'm really excited about that. And we just keep growing and getting more and more interviews and knowledge and trainings in there, because it's like, oh, it's my learning center, right? It's Nancy's knowledge bank is what we try to call it.
When I went in there, I was totally blown away. Like, I was super, super impressed, and I have checked out lots of membership sites in the past. So
thank you. We just have to make it look prettier. It's kind of antiquated in its look, so that's what we're going to be working on. But the content is there. Now we just have to make it look pretty.
Yeah.
So, all right, everyone, have a great rest of your Monday. Make sure you take action every day. You know, that's what I'm all about. Small steps every day is what's going to grow your business. So make sure you double down on your marketing and take these tips. And all of our marketing Mondays are also in the membership site, along with our website Wednesdays. And soon, with my virtual CFO, we're going to be starting Financial Fridays.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So again, all these go in my membership site, so they're easy to find. So anyway, I will see you next week. Kim, thank you so much. And bye, everyone. Have a great week.